The first transmission from New Dawn Colony arrived at 2:11 Earth Standard Time. It lasted 39 seconds. No distress codes. No explosions. No desperate pleas from adults. Only the sound of frightened children crying inside a cold metal chamber while an unfamiliar voice spoke in flawless English. Your expansion into the Orion Reach ends today. Your offspring are now under the protection of the Caris Imperium. Do not pursue them. Do not resist. Humanity has mistaken tolerance for equality. Then the signal ended. 308 children vanished with the colony shuttle Horizon Gate before local defenses could react. The Caris Imperium left every adult alive intentionally. They wanted witnesses. They wanted fear to spread faster than any fleet. Within an hour, emergency meetings consumed Earth's military networks. Admirals demanded retaliation. Politicians demanded sanctions. News stations demanded answers nobody possessed. Yet inside the deepest command chamber beneath Geneva, Supreme Fleet Commander Elias Ward remained silent while intelligence officers argued around him. Finally, Ward placed a thin black folder onto the conference table. 11 years ago, he said quietly, we predicted this exact scenario. The room fell silent. Dr. Lena Marek opened the folder carefully. She had spent a decade building the classified system hidden inside it. Most governments believed Project Hollow Star had been abandoned after the disastrous Titan negotiations. That lie had been necessary. The Imperium believes power comes from warships, Marek explained. But civilizations don't survive on weapons alone. They survive on logistics, communications, navigation, trade, infrastructure. We spent 11 years studying the Caris network architecture. Every military system they operate depends on synchronized quantum relays. General Torres frowned. You're saying we can disable them? Marek shook her head slowly. No, she answered. I'm saying we can take control of everything. Nobody spoke after that. Commander Ward activated the central display. Thousands of glowing lines spread across the Orion Reach like veins inside a living body. At the center pulsed the Caris Imperial Nexus, a communications lattice connecting every military fleet, cargo route, orbital station, and defense grid across 80 systems. Ward stared at the map with cold, exhausted eyes. They took our children, he said softly. So, tonight humanity stops asking permission to survive. And somewhere beyond the frontier, inside ships they believed untouchable, Caris commanders continued celebrating their operation, unaware that humanity had entered the nervous system of their empire and begun tightening its grip. Grand Executor Vaylor sat beneath the silver banners of conquered civilizations and listened with satisfaction as reports flowed through the Imperial Citadel. Human fleets remained stationary near the Orion frontier. Colonial evacuations had not begun. No military mobilization appeared across nearby sectors. Humanity, exactly as predicted, was frightened. Their leaders will negotiate within days, one strategist announced confidently. They always choose survival over pride. Vaylor nodded. The operation had unfolded perfectly. The captured children were secure aboard Sanctuary Station 9, deep within Caris territory, protected by layered fleets and quantum shields no outsider had ever penetrated. Eventually the children would be returned, frightened but alive, after humanity accepted permanent territorial restrictions. The Imperium had enforced obedience this way for centuries. Then every light inside the Citadel vanished. The darkness lasted 4 seconds. When the systems returned, every screen displayed the same image, a human man with gray hair, tired eyes, and the calm expression of someone already certain of victory. Grand Executor Vaylor, the man said evenly. I am Supreme Fleet Commander Elias Ward. You are experiencing the first stage of something we call Hollow Star. Security officers rushed toward their consoles. Nothing responded. Communications remained dead. Ward continued speaking. For 11 years, we studied your empire. Your fleets, your relays, your logistics chains, your military doctrine. You believed your systems were secure because nobody had breached them before. That assumption was your greatest weakness. Vaylor signaled his technicians desperately. They could neither disconnect the transmission nor contact outside fleets.
Ward almost sounded sympathetic.
7 hours ago, your relay network accepted a routine synchronization update from your own Nexus core. Embedded inside that update was a dormant command architecture now resting inside every military vessel larger than a patrol frigate. A cold silence spread across the chamber. Right now, Ward continued, humanity possesses navigational authority over 4,212 Kharis warships. Vaylor's breathing slowed carefully. Panic solved nothing. Calculation mattered. What do you want? He finally asked. Ward leaned slightly closer toward the screen. We want our children returned safely within 72 hours. No retaliation. No trackers. No conditions. And if we refuse? For the first time, something dangerous appeared behind Ward's exhausted eyes. Then tomorrow, he said softly, your empire wakes up wherever humanity decides to send it. Across the silent chamber, hardened commanders finally understood they were no longer negotiating from a position of strength. The children returned 63 hours later beneath the pale morning skies of New Dawn Colony. 2 Kharis transport vessels descended silently through heavy clouds and settled beside the colony fields without escorts, speeches, or military ceremony. When the ramps lowered, 308 children stepped carefully into the cold sunlight, staring across the grass until parents began running toward them. No language in the galaxy could fully describe the sound that followed. Inside the command deck of the battleship Resolute, Elias Ward watched the reunion through orbital surveillance feeds while officers around him remained respectfully silent. Some wiped tears from exhausted eyes. Others simply stared at the screens as if confirming the children were home. Dr. Lena Marek approached quietly beside him. The Imperium accepted full verification terms, she said. They confirmed hollow stars been removed from every relay and military vessel. Ward nodded once.
Good.
Marek studied him carefully. You really deleted it. We gave our word. You could have controlled the largest empire in known space. Ward finally looked away from the screens. And then what? We become another empire people obey through fear? Humanity built Hollow Star to protect our future, not to rule someone else's. Beyond the observation glass, stars drifted silently across the darkness. Over the following years, stories about the Orion incident spread through trade routes, diplomatic channels, and military academies across hundreds of systems. Some civilizations refused to believe the rumors. Others investigated and discovered enough truth to become uncomfortable. Humanity had infiltrated the nervous system of an ancient empire without firing a single shot. More terrifying still, humanity had chosen restraint. The Kharis Imperium changed after that. Slowly at first, then permanently. Border occupations weakened. Conquered worlds gained independence. Diplomatic channels opened where military threats once stood. Nobody inside the Imperium admitted fear publicly, but the calculations governing their empire had shifted forever. Decades later, one of the rescued children, now an elderly diplomat, was asked during an interview what frightened the Kharis rulers that day. She smiled before answering. It wasn't the weapon, she said. The galaxy already understood weapons. What terrified them was discovering that humanity spent 11 years preparing for the worst day imaginable, then stopped the moment the children came home. She glanced toward distant stars beyond the interview chamber windows. Because humanity never wanted revenge, she said softly. Humanity only wanted its children back.
Alive.